put grain into a vinyl or leather repair is always a big topic, and there are different ways to do this. Now, the one thing we have is the graining paper. There are there's 7 in this set, 7 different grains, but the graining paper is meant only for ironing in a grain. You have to iron it in. These don't have much stability to them, but when you iron, you can get a perfect grain if you know how to iron a grain in. The other ones that are very, very popular are these thick graining molds. We have a set of 12 of them. Varied grains, some deepers, different lines, different types of grains. They're all different, of course. And so again, if you heat and you press in, you can usually get a very nice grain. We always advise people too, if you're looking for a graining mold that's going to work, find one that's similar in the grain that you want, but cut a little bit deeper. So when you go to press it on, it'll actually cut a nice grain in. Then we also have a set, we have 33 of these. They're all the same size, and they're auto match, like Ford, GM, and etc. All kinds, Nissan, Mercedes. So we advise people, when you heat the very last step of your compound, you put the graining mold that you chose on there, put this hard yellow piece of plastic and work your fingers over that area while it's nice and hot, and it will impress a nice grain for you. So that's another way. A lot of people like to make their own grain. Sometimes you have to make a grain that's going to match exactly. So this is graining material with a catalyst that you spread out over, and it'll make a little graining mold similar to the one I just showed you, but exactly matching, of course, what you're working on. Now, when you're spraying a grain on, sometimes for leather, you have to use a waterborne product. So this is a waterborne spray grain that you can spray on with, well, a lot of people use the Prevails or the Power Packs to spray it on because you want to get a little bit of a spitting effect from that tool. It's going to help create a grain. For hard plastic especially, we use Sem's texture coating. Now this one's black, and now if you're working on something that's black, that's great, but if you're working on a light color, you're going to, most time what we do is spray silver over it to block out the black so we can put our color on. And if it's on a car, on the dash, that the sun hitting it, you're not going to see that black shining through. Or we also have the clear texture, so you can use that. So these are different ways that you can impress a grain into your repair.